What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I want to give you a Social Security update, and we're going to talk about the possibility of seeing a Social Security reform in 2023. Now, as I have said many times over the past few months and really over the past year, we are going to get a big push for Social Security in 2023. All eyes are on Social Security and what lawmakers decide to do in order to strengthen the program. Now, we've had questions in the past. Are we going to see cuts? Will we see a more likely option like Social Security reform? Well, that's what we are going to discuss today. So let's address the recent news that has come out just this week. So, first, let's talk about what former Vice President Mike Pence had to say, because he is pushing for Social Security reform. Now, at a National Association of Wholesaler Distributors Summit in Washington, D.C. just recently, Vice President Pence said, and I quote, "There are modest reforms in entitlements that can be done without disadvantaging anybody at the point of the need. I think the day could come when we could replace the New Deal with a better deal. Literally give younger Americans the ability to take a portion of their Social Security withholdings and put that into a private savings account." So he is talking about privatizing Social Security. Now, this is there's a possibility we could do this, right? It's always an option. Now, privatizing Social Security, is this the right move? Well, this has been discussed in the past many times, but has never worked. Nobody's ever approved this. It's never passed. So will this time around be any different? Probably not. Okay? But that's not the key here. The key here is more lawmakers, more influential people like a vice president or former President Donald Trump, when they are discussing what we should do, this means all eyes are on Social Security. And if all eyes are on one thing, something has to be done. So this should improve in the near future. But that's not where talks are stopping. Talks regarding Social Security don't stop there. There's actually more. This past week, we heard from Senator Josh Hawley. And Senator Josh Hawley, he has some ideas as to how we can fix things as well. And he said this, and I quote, "We ought to exempt Social Security and Medicare from the debt ceiling. They shouldn't be part of this conversation. Let's take them off the table. I've introduced legislation to do that, both for this debt ceiling fight and for all future debt ceiling fights. Let's not use Social Security or Medicare as a bargaining chip, and that goes for both parties." Now, this has been floated around by people for many months, that there would be cuts to Social Security. However, and I want to be very clear on this, nobody believes that that's going to happen. The truth is that cuts are going to come, but from other government spending programs, not from Social Security and not from Medicare. Many Republicans have already come out publicly against making any cuts to Social Security. We've heard from Speaker Kevin McCarthy just recently, who says that that's not an option. Even heard from former President Donald Trump, he'll be one of the main ones, that said he does not want to see a penny of any cut to Social Security or Medicare. Now, what options do we have right now? Well, it's actually quite simple. It really is. It's very simple. The first thing that Republicans and Democrats have to do is they have to attempt to find a solution for the debt ceiling. We are not going to see anything done for Social Security and Medicare. We're not going to see any additional relief to the American people. We're not going to see more money go to Ukraine. Not going to see any of this until the debt ceiling is handled. Okay? That's the one thing that lawmakers are working on right now, is to figure out about where they can go with the debt ceiling. Once they figure out whether the debt ceiling is going to be suspended, whether it's going to be increased, we're going to see cuts to social spending programs. Once we have that negotiation down, and once that's figured out, then, and only then, we can determine where we can go. Could we raise taxes to provide more money to Social Security and Medicare? Could we make additional cuts elsewhere? to improve the overall budget for Social Security and Medicare? Or what can we do? Well, what the discussions are looking like recently, and let me just give you an idea how things are kind of playing out, because let's face it, the debt ceiling is taking priority at the moment. Currently, House GOP is looking at defense spending cuts, and according to Representative Mike Rogers, he says, and I quote, "We're going to cut money that's being spent on wokeism. We're going to cut legacy programs. We're going to cut a lot of waste." That's where they're going to focus. Now, reports also indicate that efforts to diversify military, identify alternative fuels, and other environmental initiatives will all be on the table for possible cuts. Now, this is what Representative Austin Scott had to say. He says, and I quote, "The recruiting and retention in the military is at an all-time low, and the Department of Defense needs to quit focusing on the woke ideology and focus on the mission of supporting our war fighters." So he's really in support of this as well. So just to give you an idea, once this debt ceiling crisis gets resolved, then it's going to be much easier to negotiate Social Security reform moving forward. But until then, again, I promise I will keep you updated on everything that's going on. But until then, they are just trying to get the other side's perspective. Republicans want to know how far are Democrats willing to go. Democrats want to know how far Republicans are willing to go. But in the end, nobody believes that we're going to see cuts. Nobody believes that we are going to see cuts, whether it's to Social Security or Medicare. It's not going to happen. Nobody's going to want to vote for that. There will not be a vote. But will there be a vote on Social Security reform? Most likely. It just depends on what it is. So, as soon as we get more information on that, I will fill you in on that update as soon as possible. But as of right now, keep this in mind. Right now, prices are still fluctuating. We are seeing prices going up, prices going down. Some food products go up, others go down. Now, somebody asked me the other day, can I give them any financial advice? Because I always say, this isn't financial advice. Let me give you some financial advice. If you have money to go and buy food, right? Don't go and spend your money, even if you have $1,000 to go spend on food for the month. Do you need $1,000 worth of food? No. Take that money that you have, okay, and try to get as much food as possible for the least amount of money. This might mean you can only buy items that are on sale. I remember years ago, many years ago, my wife and I, we didn't have a whole lot of money. Okay, we didn't grow up with money, right? We had to make our own. And I remember that we went into a Walmart and we would only buy the products that were on sale. Or, second option, use a coupon. Coupons still exist, but a lot of people don't realize it and don't use them. Okay, get a coupon, whether it's a physical one or it's on your phone, and they can scan it. Make sure you are saving, even if it's 50 cents for every product you buy, every food item. Even if it's 50 cents and you bought 10 items, you will save $5 if you save 50 cents on each item. $5 might not be a lot, but at the end of the month, that's an extra $20. Okay, if you do, let's say you spend $50 every single week, you save $5 every week, that's $20 at the end of the month. $20, again, it's not a huge amount of money, but it's $240 at the end of the year. Again, not a lot, but it's a decent amount. It's a start, right? You got to start somewhere. So that's my financial advice. Save money on the things that you're already purchasing. You know you're going to buy them. You know what they already cost. Now reduce it and put some of that money aside. So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.